Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. Today I want to share with you some information that is related to the latest trip of Vladimir Putin to Iran, where he met with the president and the leaders of Iran, as well as with Erdogan, the president of Turkiye. So let's get over some of the things that they discuss. First, let's go and take a look at this one. During the visit, it was agreed that the Iranian companies and Gazprom will sign a primary deal for energy cooperation. So this is a great deal. So the National Iranian Oil Company and Gazprom signed let's say a preliminary deal that is estimated to cost about 40 billion US dollars and is going to allow the development of gas fields and oil fields, and this will be really great and they for the economy of both countries. And they are supposed to be involved also in the completion of liquefied natural gas projects, and they want to help them construct some gas lines for export and for oil as well. So if you know, Iran sits in the world's second largest gas reserves after Russia, and that's huge really if you consider that Russia is a much bigger country than Iran. So that's good news for Russia, very constructive negotiations. I think this will be very positive both for Russia and for Iran. As you have seen in the past, Iran and Russia are always cooperating, are always working together, helping each other in different theaters, whether it is working together in Syria or working to find solutions to common goals, common problems. So it is very constructive in my opinion. And as you know, this is one of the few visits that President Putin has done recently to outside of Russia. The previous trip was to Turkmenistan, and he was also in Tajikistan. So that is significant if we take into consideration this recent plan that they have. Well, maybe it's not so recent, but it is recently has become more relevant for Russia. So it is called the International North-South Transport Corridor, or INSTC, and this corridor is promoting an alternate route. So the official route is that is all transport is going from the Baltic Sea all the way across the North Sea, then to the Mediterranean, down the Red Sea, and back to India. So this alternate route will go across Russia up to the port of Astrakhan, and then will cross the Caspian Sea. It is possible that it will have some intermediate points. So here is Baku. Baku is in Azerbaijan, and here is also Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is one of the countries that he also visited recently, and here is also Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan can also benefit from this from the access to this route. As you know, Kazakhstan is landlocked, so this will be great also for Kazakhstan, for Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, of course for Iran. I think even Afghanistan is also interested in participating in this deal as well. So that is going to be something positive for everyone here. And not only this route is shorter in time, but it's cheaper to transport through this, and it's also sanctions free. So it goes only through friendly countries, so there is no chance of blocking it or provoking some kind of problems for this particular situation here. So that is something very positive, and it is why President Putin has been visiting countries in this region. So this is of interest to everyone that is involved in this area. So that was one of the reasons why he was visiting also Iran, and maybe even Turkey could be interested in this. You know, it's very close, even though it needs to go through well, it is the border with Iran, so maybe even Turkey could benefit from this route, even though it's not explicitly mentioned. So that's one of the things they were doing, and during the visit it was a very productive visit, and also, of course, some political statements were made. For example, the leader of Iran was saying that he supported Russia, and he understood the situation, even the situation in Ukraine, and he says that the West is opposing an independent and strong Russia, and he understands that it was a NATO threat that was coming to their borders. So I think that is the most open show of support for any country that has been done, probably outside of Syria and North Korea. Very few countries have openly supported every action of the Russian government. And also, Turkiye has played a very interesting role because it has resisted the pressure to impose sanctions on Russia, so has been neutral, has sustained itself as neutral, and this is a mutually beneficial relationship. Both Turkey and Russia benefit from this relation, so they both win from this, so it's a win-win situation. They were also talking about the grain talks that took place in Istanbul between Russia and Ukraine, and they made some very interesting clarifications. Says that Moscow will accept a deal to facilitate Ukrainian grain shipments if the West lifts restrictions on Russian grain exports. So it is the prerequisite. So even if Ukraine agrees to it, which in principle has already done, this will only go through if the Western powers will support this. As you know, officially the grain shipments are not banned or subject to sanctions, but there are a lot of other supplementary sanctions that make it impossible for Russia to export grain. So Russia wants all those restrictions lifted. Currently, there is also no restriction on fertilizer, but there are other additional restrictions that make it difficult for companies to deal with Russia. So that is also something that probably should be taken care of. And also they were talking about some of the situations that are common to them. For example, if you know, they are also interested in finding a solution to the issue in Syria. So both Iran and Turkey have an interest in getting Syria issue solved. As you know, Turkey wants to get the forces that are occupying especially the north, especially I think it is the northwest, where are the Turkish-backed force, which are the forces that are also there stationed with the United States. So Turkey wants those out, Syria wants those out, Iran wants them out. Nobody wants them there, nobody supports them, only the United States. That's what the United States is doing, is just creating problems for anyone and everyone. And recently there was even this story about how Russia blocked United Nations proposal to give aid to the rebels on this area, and they banned it because they wanted the region to be open for help for 1 year, and Russia said that no, only for 6 months. And the reason for this is it has multiple reasons. One of them is that they want to do this without the involvement of the Syrian government. They want to do it independently. So they want to make the region de facto independent, and Russia doesn't favor that. Apart from that, there are some stories about how the rebels steal the help and sell it later at a higher price to the people. So the people living in this region don't actually benefit from it. So Russia says that the best solution will be if the Syrian government actually participated in this, but every government that is proposing this, especially the Western powers, are against it, because this also allows for the introduction of weapons into the region. No? So that's why they want this pretext to send help, but also they want to do it independently so that Syria cannot inspect the shipments, so some weapons can be introduced to the area. So that's part of the reason why this is being done. And as you know, Israel and Arab countries, including the United States, is trying to push against Iran. So at the same time, Russia is supporting Iran. They are trying to work together, help each other, and Russia is also supporting the Iran deal, the nuclear deal. So this is also something very positive. Actually, Russia is a good actor internationally. When they meet, for example, this is a trilateral meeting, and they are meeting with Turkiye, with Iran and Russia, and they are talking business. They are not talking about war. Like United States, everywhere they go, all they are talking is about war, war alliances, something about weapons. Everything is always about destruction. Is completely different, but people for some reason don't see it, So it is interesting that even the three of them agreed on something about Syria, so they want the issue solved, and they agreed on how it should be solved through diplomacy, and they want to have all those rebels expelled from that region so that the Syrian government can regain independence. So they want all the terrorists removed from that area. So what else? I think what they say is the latest part they say is all parties urge expelling American forces from Syria, because we know what they are doing there. They are stealing the oil from Syria. They are preventing the people of Syria from reaching the benefits of their own oil. So that is just occupation, illegal occupation. Nobody called them, nobody invited them. They themselves created the terrorists, and now they are complaining about all this. So that's the situation. I think it was something positive for the region, positive for everyone involved. So let me know what you think about it. And I want to remind you of the opportunity to support my work as content creator through different platforms. I include this information in the description of every video, and you can decide which option is more convenient for you. And you can also support my work by liking this video, sharing it in social media, and subscribing to the channel. So that will really help me a lot. I need to help to have my channel grow. So that's all. I hope to see you again very soon, and thank you for watching this video.